Hi, I'm Gary O'Riordan. I'm Deputy Managing Director of the Australian Tourism Export Council. We're a travel industry membership association. We're also a lobby group. We have over 1,000 members across Australia, including inbound tour operators and product suppliers. We run over 80 events a year, bringing our members together to help them grow their business. Working with these inbound distribution channels, you need to provide a quality product and service. That's the first tip I can give. Very important, because inbound operators and the overseas agents they're dealing with will not work with you if you're not providing a good quality product or service. You need to be reliable. You need to provide a quick turnaround on quotes. Very important, because you have to recognise that the consumer ultimately is working through a channel. Quite often that's through a retail agent, a wholesaler, down to the inbound tour operator who contacts you as the product, and then the confirmation has to go back up the chain. So that quick turnaround is vital. Well, inbound tourism is a vital component of tourism in general. Whilst it represents about a quarter of all tourism receipts, it's very important that we look to grow inbound tourism, particularly in the current environment where we see record numbers of Australians travelling offshore. There's reasons for that: a strong Australian dollar, very cheap international airfares. There's been really no better time to go overseas for Australians. So for many operators who are reliant on that domestic market, trying to attract new markets, in particular the inbound tourism markets, is quite important. It's vital to understand the markets you're working in. Each market differs, whether that be the domestic market or if you're targeting international markets. There are many differences, from the way people travel to the experiences they're after, to the cuisine they might be searching for. You've got group travellers, you've got independent travellers. Traditionally, a lot of the Asian markets are group travel. So, they'll be on a coach tour. They want to dine together in a restaurant, whereas many of our Western Hemisphere markets are travelling independently. They'll come out here, book a flight, book their hotel, and then they'll make their own arrangements. They'll book tours, visit attractions on the ground once they've arrived. The commission levels applicable in the inbound tourism industry typically around 25 to 30%. Now, that amount is not going entirely to the inbound tour operator. You need to remember that they're working with other players in the channel, typically being the wholesale and retail travel agents, who also will take a cut of that 25 to 30%. You really need to build a relationship with inbound operators. It can take time. We do say up to 18 months to 2 years to establish yourself as a product for the inbound distribution. You also need to be aware that your product may not suit all markets. So it's important to go and do sales calls, visit the agents, get feedback on your product or service, and understand which markets you'll be most effective in. Dealing with inbound tour operators is not necessarily a huge commitment in time and money. You should really view them as an extension of your sales and marketing team. If they know your product, if they've experienced it firsthand, they can promote it offshore through their channels, whether that be through their own sales activities, attending trade shows or the like. But you also need to allow time to maintain those relationships here in Australia with the inbound tour operators. Most of them are based on the east coast of Australia. There are others in other capital cities as well, but you'll find the majority are located in places like Sydney, Melbourne and the Gold Coast. It's easy for you as an operator to get around and see these guys, or to attend an inbound trade event where you can meet them on a regular basis. My advice, if you have the capacity and the desire to grow your business, is to look at engaging inbound tourism markets. You might be very strong in the domestic market currently, you might be working corporate markets, but as we've seen in recent times of uncertainty, you need to have a diverse portfolio of markets that you're active in. And by tapping into some of the growing international markets into Australia, you can really look at diversifying your business.